This is Out of Office Era, a podcast where we're unpacking real conversations about the things we love, the places that we go, and the people that we're becoming. I'm your host, Janelle Ripkalvis, a travel and lifestyle content creator that shares both the beautiful moments and the behind the scenes on the internet. But this is the space where we're going to dive deeper. Today's episode is for anyone who's ever felt a little weird, a little resistant, or maybe a little rebellious when it comes to weddings. I'm joined with my friend Jenna, who, like me, is planning a non-traditional wedding. But instead of focusing on the aesthetics or the guest list, we're going to dive into the emotional side of breaking the mold. What it feels like to do things your own way. The pressure, the freedom, the pushback, the joy. So whether you're getting married or thinking about it, or just love a good old do-it-different story, this one's for you. So today, I'm out of the office with Jenna Liston. Jenna is a self-made entrepreneur, social media marketing manager, and a content creator with over a decade of experience building a successful career in the digital space. She helps businesses level up their social media presence while also sharing her love for travel by captivating content on her work trips, which is one of the trips she's currently on right now for me. We'll get into that. She started sharing her journey online 10 years ago and has turned it into a full-time career. Jenna's passion for both social media and travel continues to fuel her mission of inspiring others to thrive in the ever-changing digital world. Welcome, Jenna. Thank you for joining me on Out of the Office Era.
Thank you for having me. I'm so excited to be in Seattle.
I'm so happy to have you here. So, Jenna, by the time this episode comes out, I will have a ring on my finger. Jenna is helping us capture it. I don't know any of the details of the engagement, but it's really exciting to have you here, meet in person. I've been following Jenna for a while in real life, but this is our first time meeting in real life.
Yeah, like vice versa, same
Yes.
exact situation. Like I feel like we've been friends for so long, but meeting in person was like, it's always a big wow moment,
I know,
you know?
but it's like you finally get to like put the 3D face to a name, which feels always like interesting, but I'm like, you're exactly like how I picture via the screen too.
Yes.
So it's really, really fun. But we have Jenna on today because we're going to talk about your wedding. You are also a bride. You're getting married this year. And tell me, first off, let's start out with you and your fiance. Tell me your story. How'd you guys meet? Kind of like how did you evolve into being fiancés and now getting married?
Yeah, it's a fun story. Like I love telling it because like no hate to anybody who met on a dating app. Like seriously, like I love it, but our story is very unique. So I used to be a TV news reporter. I think that's when I probably met you online or started following you.
Yeah, you were still working that job. I remember that.
Gosh. Yeah. So I was a TV news reporter for about 4 or 5 years, and I was in Fresno, California at the time. One of the largest wildfires in California history was happening. It was my first ever coverage of a wildfire too.
Oh my gosh.
I was nervous, did not know what was going on, learning the ropes, and I had switched over to the morning shift of my TV station. I was like begging to be on that shift, and I'm so glad I did because that's how I got to meet my now fiance. He was public information officer. I had to interview him on TV. Like we have videos and photos of our very first interaction ever. Like it was just so wholesome, and I love that story. And I mean, even though like when we first met, I didn't really care for him, and I was like, oh, it's whatever. Like,
well, you're not thinking you're gonna meet your husband on like a news segment.
No, I didn't. I did not. Yeah. But I was like, and I also like I don't date in the workplace. I'm not dating, firefighters, cops, all the things. But there was just something about him that I'm like, oh my gosh, I really hate that I'm so into this guy. Like, there's something about him. He's like such a California dude, like not my stereotypical type. But I just knew, and I left that fire like a week and a half later, and I said to my photographer, I'm like, I really don't know what it is about this guy, but I'm gonna marry this guy.
Oh my God! So you like knew?
Yes.
Did he feel the same way?
He lived up in Reno.
Okay.
In like Tahoe area, so it wasn't like we were close in proximity.
Yeah.
And like he would stop by every once in a while because he was on fires or like when he was passing through.
Yeah.
But I didn't understand that lifestyle, and I'm like, why can't you see me more? Like, why can't you just come over? Well, there's fires all over the state of California, so you're a little busy.
Yeah.
But when I finally realized that, it was kind of like a 2-year back and forth of like, I would seriously date other people. Like we could never just like narrow down. I mean, we'll get into you and your man's here soon, but talking about like, okay, are we really doing this thing or not? After 2 years, we finally sat down. Are we doing this or not? Because I gotta stop. Yeah. But I really want to do this with you, so commit.
Please say yes.
Yeah. Commit with me. Yeah.
That's crazy. I mean, that was a very similar thing with Austin and I too. Like we were in the same friend group, so we were seeing each other way more often, and we were like kind of going back and forth of like, okay, well, is this feels like more than friends, but like if this doesn't work out, then we kind of ruin a friend group a little bit, or it just becomes weird. And so it's like we did that whole kind of like back and forth thing, and then finally after like a year of being friends, it was like, all right, we need to have a conversation about this and move forward.
And I say honestly, it's like I love, as much as I hated it really during that time and like not knowing and just like wanting an answer because that's just who I am.
Yeah.
I'm so glad that we were friends for as long as we were
Yeah.
and went our own separate ways and came back, like invisible string theory, whatever you want to call
Yeah.
it.
Whatever theory you want to attach to
Butterfly
it.
effect.
Butterfly. Yeah. There's a new name every other week for
I know.
it.
I'm like, am I going to put butterfly effect in my vows? Like,
Yeah.
I don't know and have to explain it to people. But yeah, that's the story.
You'll have to have like a definition card at your wedding of all the vow stuff, the internet lore that you put into it.
Only like the Gen Z will like pick it up. Like everybody else will be like, hello?
The people who are chronically online, they'll get it.
Yeah. Hey, non-traditional. What did I
Yes.
say?
So now let's get into your engagement and like the wedding planning process. You guys got engaged in an iconic destination. It was really fun. Tell me more about that.
Got engaged in London. I was hoping that it would happen there.
Yeah.
But I mean, we just like, I had always like joked back and forth. I'm from the Midwest, and people in the Midwest, like, we get engaged
I'm from the Midwest
quick.
too. Yeah.
Yeah, like, you know.
Yeah.
And that's why when you asked me earlier, like, you know, talking about the engagement process, when you guys want to do it, I was like all on board because I knew I was done messing around. Like, what are we? Like, let's just do the dang thing. And out in like the West Coast, I feel like people just wait.
Yeah.
Wait and wait and wait. And now, again, now that I'm here and I was patient, like, I get it, and I'm glad we did it that way. But so I wanted to get engaged for a long time. Like,
how long did you date before getting engaged?
Like a year and a half. Oh no, I should know this answer. A year and a half, like 2 years.
Okay, and then you have the 2-year period before that where you've known each other.
That's what I'm saying. So it's like 4 years. That's how I equated it. I'm like, we've known each other for how long? Like, why do we keep waiting?
Yes, like what's next? Like, what do you need? What's the last thing?
Yes.
Meanwhile, it's been like it'll be 3.5 years since we've been dating that we're getting engaged, but we've known each other for 4.5 years at this point. Yeah,
that's what I mean. It's like, and you go through so many life experiences, like the good, the bad, and then it's like, hey, I know I want to continue, you know, going through these experiences with you, regardless what they are. So,
like, there wasn't any red flags that popped up from going through those experiences. So it's like, no, I'm ready. We've been through enough to know that, like, this is who I want to spend my life with and do these hard life things with.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
So when we got engaged in London, I was super stoked. Like, it's a constant like argument between him and I. Like, he's always like, or people will ask me, "Did you know it was coming?" Da da da, and I'm like. No, but yes. The photographer story is funny. Have I told you that?
No, tell it here. I've heard it, I think, online or some maybe voice messages. But yes, tell me that.
Yeah. So I like anytime we get to travel because his schedule is so wonky, I'm like a free spirit and can go wherever.
Yeah.
But I always love to like take content on trips, share my content just kind of like you do.
Yeah.
Not on the same scale by any means.
No,
but I like to share my travels. But when I'm there, I would love to hire people or a photographer to take photos of us in these destinations. Totally. So if you go on Airbnb experiences, I mean, there are so many photographers there and you can like look through. So anyway,
Flytographer is another good one if people are looking for photographers abroad. I've worked with them before. It's great.
What's it called?
Flytographer.
Oh,
so that's another one too. Yeah.
Wait, I didn't know that.
Yeah, both Airbnb experiences are great and Flytographer. So I've looked at both before when finding them. So
yeah.
yes, sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt, but I was like, ooh, that's another good one for people who look to get photos done abroad.
I'm gonna use them next time.
Yeah.
Because sometimes Airbnb can kind of like be tricky, but so I hired this girl. We were all set to go do it on a certain day. We were at a soccer game in London, and like, I mean, we've been drinking, like we're having a good time. She messages me and she's like, "Hey, girl, like I'm super sick, like I can't do it anymore." And
oh my God.
Like refunded me all the things, but I'm like, oh my God, what am I? I don't want just like some random photographer. Like I liked your work, all this stuff. And so I told him that I'm like kind of upset, like drunky.
Yeah.
And he's
in the
like,
feels.
yeah, and all of a sudden he's very like adamant about taking these photos.
Which, like, when is a guy ever adamant about taking photos?
Yeah, I'm like, I'm glad that you're so passionate about things I'm passionate about, but why are you so passionate?
Yeah, like, questions are starting to arise.
Yeah, so he's like, well, I have a buddy who could do it, and I was like, no.
Oh my God, a buddy? We're not going to go with a buddy.
So terrible.
Especially knowing that it's for the engagement, like now knowing this backstory, we're not having your buddy come take these photos.
I know. Potential engagement, right?
Yeah.
So anyway, but I found this other photographer. She was so much better. Like I always promote her work all the time.
Oh my God. Photos are stunning.
She killed it. But in that moment, like again, I didn't know it was happening. Like I had a feeling, but the
photographer didn't know it was happening.
Yes. And I couldn't like beforehand be like, hey, like heads up.
Yeah.
But so he's like in the process of doing it and like holding my hand a little bit longer. She's like, let's go to the next location. He's like, okay, hold on, wait. Yeah. And I look at her and I'm like, oh my God. Like my eyes get so big and she still doesn't know what's going on. And he's like, saying the things I blacked out completely.
Of course.
I just asked him the other day, I was like, what did you even say when you proposed? And he's like, I don't know, probably that you're my best friend. Like just this whole, anyway, so he's telling me the whole spiel and I'm looking at her again and she's like, oh my God. And she like whips out her camera. I am not
because she's ready to go to the next spot. She was like, yep, put the camera like away or down or whatever.
Camera's probably turned off.
Yeah, probably.
Like not in focus at all.
Yeah.
So he's doing his thing and it seriously like time stops when that moment happens. It's like the most unreal experience, like best moment of my life. But afterwards, I did not expect truly any photos to turn out. I didn't expect to get anything. Like if we need to redo it.
Yeah, sure. We'll do it for the plot. Like
she killed it.
She did such a good job. I like can't believe that because also knowing that she didn't know and all of a sudden she's just whipping out her camera. Like it wasn't like during a series of like shots that she was already taking.
No.
I'm like, holy crap. And they look so good.
Him with a tear? Like you can't fake that.
That was so good. Yes. You guys need to go see these photos on her Instagram.
I'm like, I was crying too, but apparently it was not being shot. I don't know. It was just
That's
so
okay.
good.
We don't need to show us crying. We're the beautiful, flawless.
Yes, like never tears. It's all about us. Like, yeah. So she killed it. I was like, I'm tipping her after the shoot because I'm like, thank you so much for even, rolling with the punches like that.
Right.
So.
Wow. Okay. So that's really fun. And then when was that now?
November.
Okay. So you'll have about a year-ish, give or take, for your engagement. Did you know right away, like when you wanted to get married? Like how did that kind of all come about, like with the wedding planning? Like did you have a dream, that you've grown up envisioning this, or what was your kind of like wedding story?
No, I honestly have never been one of those girls that's like, oh my gosh, like, I mean, maybe like in college or something when I don't know, like had, I look back on old Pinterest boards.
Oh my God. Awful. I made that mistake too. It's like all the just like coral everything, really like I don't know, also growing up in the Midwest, like the DIY, like wood, like things that, I don't know if that's your aesthetic. I don't mean any hate,
no
but like it was definitely just the aesthetic of that time period for sure.
So I did have a vision apparently at one point. I had a dream, but lately, like it really, that I did not have plans to have a wedding. Like we honestly went into the engagement being like, we're eloping, we're saving all the money, like no family. If we do family, it's like immediate family.
Yeah. Do you guys have big families? Like,
no.
Okay. So that helps a little bit too, like guest count wise.
Yes.
We don't have big families either. So I know that that's a big topic when you start figuring out like who you're inviting and what the guest list is and like how many people you need to invite, and like once you start adding like aunts, uncles, cousins, blah blah blah, like it can just add up quick.
It does add up quick, and you don't realize how many people like are technically within your family. But I mean, to me, when I think of family, I think of my immediate family, the ones that I talk to every day.
Right.
Same with him. So he only has his mom and his sister, and I have, like my 5 family members. So immediate family.
Yeah.
And we were planning on eloping, and then oh my God, like right after we got engaged, I mean, like the ring's on my finger. I'm like staring at it in like the cabs in London. We're just having like the best day ever. And I start
thinking about it. You're like,
weddings.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, what if it was just a small wedding?
Yeah.
I've gone back on, I think, every single thing that I said I was going to do. And now I'm still, I don't know if I should say this.
Say what you're comfortable with.
I'm contemplating like still eloping or doing something fun in Vegas.
Oh, fun. I've always like wanted to. I actually asked Austin if he would want to elope in Vegas.
Yeah.
We're getting married out of the country, so we have to get married here first anyways. So we were talking about doing that
too. And it's so fun. I know it's kind of like the traditional elopement, but it's still like, oh my God, it could be so fun.
Yeah, it's just like fun, flirty, like just like, oh, we're going, it's not like super, it's just fun. I don't know, like it has like a fun, like sexy, romantic, like just like vibe to it where it's like, oh, we're just like, I love the photos that come out of
Same.
Like, photos,
I have so many photographers that I've saved. I've already reached out to. I'm like, what's your schedule? Yeah. So I would be kind of upset to not get some cool, funky photos in Vegas.
That would be fun too.
Yeah. And I don't think like...
So now you're like, maybe we went from having no wedding to maybe 2 versions of a wedding. I love how this has evolved. I feel like I've gone through similar evolutions too, and it's just interesting to like look back on. It's like, wow, I said I wasn't going to spend that much money on this day, and I'm still not spending like what maybe a normal American wedding is, but it's way more than I expected.
Yes. I know the numbers. Oh my God. It's like once you start sending it, like I see all these TikToks that are like $1,000 feels like $100. It's true.
Well, I think like the hard part that I found is like once you start I've told Austin this too. I'm like, okay, well, once we like tip into it being more of a wedding and not an elopement anymore,
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna struggle to pull back because at that
Yeah.
point, then I'm gonna want to do a lot of different things.
Yeah.
So we're having ours out of the country, because things are a lot cheaper over there. So
Yeah.
we're getting married in France at a family member's place and all of this stuff. And so that was a way for us to have more of that. Like now we're tipping into more of a small wedding, very small wedding, but I'm gonna now want, a proper dress. I don't know what that looks like yet, but not just like a casual elopement dress, like those sorts of things. I'm gonna want the right florals and that. But there's like a needle, and like once the needle moves over where it's like we're no longer just eloping, now I want all of the other stuff added.
I
to
know.
it.
You don't think you do. You're like, hey, I'm gonna have a small wedding and I'm really not gonna go all out. And then, oh my God, your mind your For You page
the
is
For You page.
flooded
Yeah.
with ideas, tips. I'm like, I can't
Yeah.
wait. I mean, I'm very excited for our wedding. I love this era, but I really can't wait to be out of it because it's just a lot on all aspects.
Literally, and also all the invoices. I'm like, what invoices have like come in? Have I paid? Not paid? On top of like all of our work, we're sending invoices and receiving invoices and whatever for like our normal work stuff. And I'm just like, I don't know what money has come in and what has left. Like I need to like look at this again. And
I know.
So tell me more now about like your wedding, what you're comfortable with, just like kind of to talk about like how it's non-traditional to you. You don't have to like focus on any details or that sort of thing if you don't want to, but like when we're talking about doing things a little bit differently in the wedding space, what did that look like when you sat down and started kind of like etching this out on paper? You're like, okay, I think we maybe are doing a wedding. How did you start like approaching that?
Yeah. Well, first things first is that I'm really, I don't want to say privileged, but I don't even want to say lucky. I'm in a really good position because I am working with our venue.
Yeah.
And I approached them because I saw opportunity to have something like this there.
And have they ever hosted anything like this before?
They have, but it's been, like a decade plus.
Okay.
And
so
they
this is
got
kind of like a new venture for them then.
Yes.
So it's like beneficial.
Yes.
Yeah.
And they got new management. They got new owners.
Yeah.
And the new owners are just so cool, down for anything. And I could not have approached them at a better time.
Yeah.
Because now people are starting to ask this venue if they can have weddings.
Yeah.
And I'm like, can we just wait until ours and like blow everybody out of the water and then set the tone? And they're all for it.
The expectation of like, this is what this looks like here.
Yes.
Like here's what the vibe can be, like here's what the vision can be when you're using this space.
Exactly.
Yeah.
We're giving them all the footage. That's why I've hired so many content creators, videographers, photographers, because it's not only just for us and for me, but it's for the venue too.
Totally, which makes it beneficial in that way.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I guess that's one like kind of like non-traditional thing that I know not a lot of brides go that route. And again, it's not a traditional venue by any means.
Yeah.
I didn't even know there was a ceremony space when I asked them this question.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, oh, I just want to have a celebration with all of our friends and family, have a bunch of drinks, like get drunk, all the stuff, have it maybe like a backyard barbecue style, but at a cool venue.
Yeah.
But when I went and walked around with them, they're like, oh yeah, we have this ceremony space that the previous owners built for their kids like 10, 15 years ago.
Oh, wow. Cool.
And I'm like,
they just like haven't been utilizing it since.
No.
Yeah.
But she's like, I'm going to clean it all up. Like, it's going to look totally different and like super nice for you if you wanted to have a ceremony.
Wow.
And I'm like, well, yeah. Like,
at that point, let's have the whole thing here.
That's
like,
what
shebang,
I mean. Yeah. And like the ceremony, truly, I don't know how long average ceremonies are, but ours is truly going to be like 15, 20 minutes.
Yeah.
Like, let's just get in, get out, make it emotional, but we want to party.
Yeah, right. Like we don't need to have everyone sit here and go through like a full service. I mean, I used to film weddings, and I've filmed weddings that are like the full Catholic service, and I've also done ones where it's like 15, 20 minutes. And one of my favorite weddings that I filmed was really cool. And this was kind of, I think, what started me on the non-traditional stuff about the wedding. The bride was really into Beyonce. She like loved Beyonce so much. So she had so much Beyonce. Like I forget what exact songs she walked down the aisle to and what they left the aisle to and from. But she had so many like really personal moments and touches that were in their ceremony. And it was more traditional in the sense that it was at a very traditional wedding venue, but not traditional in like a religious sense or anything like that. Like they took tequila shots instead of doing like the unity sand
Oh
stuff.
my God,
like,
that's amazing.
So they did like a tequila shot together because that was like their whole thing. And
I might copy that.
Yeah.
I'm like all the ideas.
Yeah, like write the notes down. But that was like the first wedding that I had ever been to and shot that felt like so personal. Like that was, you walk in the room and there's no one else that could have walked down that aisle and done those things that day.
Yeah.
And so that's like what got my wheels turning when I started thinking about weddings. And, as a someone filming weddings, like I'm seeing all different types of weddings because these aren't people like these are strangers to me, so I'm getting to view a lot of different types of things versus like, you know, I'm sure in your own friend groups and things, like you've got similar styles and similar tastes and things, so you kind of see more of the same. But that really
Yeah.
opened my eyes to it, and I thought that was just like, I was like, okay, well, if I ever get married, I want to do something that feels like when you walk into this wedding or whatever, like it feels so much like me and like us. Like you know,
Yep.
you couldn't be anywhere else in the world. Like this is very clearly our wedding.
Yes.
And so that's
Yeah.
kind of like what I was going for when, or as I'm in the planning. I'm way earlier in the planning process than you are.
Yep.
But like what are some of the things that are so like uniquely you guys in your wedding day and your planning process? Like what have you woven in to
Yeah.
that day?
I think I won't get into too many specifics to like spoil them, but
Yeah.
I've definitely really tried to incorporate his Hispanic, you know,
Yeah.
his family, his culture, into it. And like to the point where he's even like, oh my gosh, like a lot of thought has been put into that side. Cause
Yeah.
I just, like, I love his family to death. They've been super accepting of me. Like, they haven't met my side of the family, but like, I just can see it all like being super beautiful, them all getting along. But I just want everyone to feel loved and seen at our
Yeah.
wedding. So there's a lot of like little touches into the Hispanic culture that will be there. Gosh, I just feel like I keep saying it's like super casual. I'm telling people, I'm like, do not wear heels to this wedding. Like, I would love for y'all to wear boots.
Yeah.
If that's any like sign of what we're
Hint,
doing.
yeah.
Yeah, like please just don't wear white. I have really basic needs.
Yeah.
I feel like my friend said I'm very like type A, but also heavily on the type B side on certain things. So like I'm a good mix of both.
Yeah. Well, it feels like too, like I think some of the differences, at least that I'm noticing as you're talking, as I'm thinking about our wedding too, is like it's so much about the guest experience and like
Yes.
less about being like it's my day, it's our day, it's like the whatever. It's like it seems like when you're focusing on your planning and like what you're doing for your wedding, it's so much about how other people are going to feel there too.
Yes.
And not that people aren't doing that like when they're planning a more traditional wedding. I think that plenty of people are doing that, you know, with the food and all of this stuff, but it is just like a different way to kind of frame when you're looking at like what do I want at the wedding. It's like no, I want
Yeah.
people to like dance and get drunk and like do all like feel like they can kick their boots up and
Yes.
you know have a good old time. And I
Yep.
think like it's really fun to kind of like flip that around and focus more on the like experience side.
Yes.
The running joke that we kind of have right now is I'm basically hosting a group trip
I
to
know.
France, and it's like that's actually someone said that maybe it was you in a voice
I think
note.
I did.
Yeah, and I was like, oh my god, you're exactly right. I'm literally hosting a group trip to
But
France.
it's
That's what I'm doing.
amazing. It's such
Yeah.
a cool, like, people feel seen and they feel loved that way. And
Yeah.
again, it is about you two at
Yeah.
the end of the day. And that's like, someone's like, remember that you are the guest of honor, like, not the, you know, host.
Yeah, yeah.
So that's been really hard for me to be like, okay, I do need to remember that
That is
because
hard.
I want everyone to have a good time, but also, like, I need to remember to have a good time too.
Totally.
But yeah, no, yours sounds like a straight up brand trip. It's just so
Yes, yeah.
fun with a wedding
Yeah.
mixed in.
Yeah, I hope it'll be really, and that's like the whole thing. We just want everyone to feel like they're coming to experience like our favorite things with us and make memories with it. Like my number one thing coming out of this is I want to make memories with my favorite people, and I think for us that was also very intentional by having a really small guest list.
Yeah.
Because when I've seen so many of these weddings and I've been guests at, filmed at and whatnot, where it's like, we maybe got to talk to the couple for a few minutes because they're off doing all of the other things. And I'm so happy that they had the day that they wanted and stuff. But, you know, also I'm like, okay, I didn't even get to know them, like, you know, as a guest, like with, you know, at Austin's friends' weddings and stuff. I ended up meeting bride and groom that like I was at their wedding maybe 2 months prior at a different wedding. And I'm like, oh, I actually got to talk to you, you know, for like
you
way
looked
longer
beautiful
this time.
2 months ago. Yeah.
And it's like, oh my God, I actually get to know you now. And this is like fun to have, but I wanted that to feel like way more intentional with our wedding because it's hard. Like when everyone's spending so much time and money and energy, especially like we're doing it abroad. So we're very conscious of a lot of that. But, you know, you want people to feel like they got kind of what they wanted out of that day too. Like, you know, that it was a good experience and that they, you know, had a memorable time for whatever reason and thing.
I feel very, very passionately about this subject. Like it's the biggest thing that my fiance and I have butted heads on is this guest list. Like it is just, I mean, like we're talking tears and it's just like,
it's tough.
It's the most like not fun part of the process. Everything else has been honestly great. Like money, we'll figure it out. But like this has just been, okay, let's really talk about how often do we talk to these people? How impactful have they been in our lives? Like, there's a
Yeah.
lot of questions, and every couple is different on how they want to answer it. But yeah, one of our good friends got married, kind of had a similar guest count to ours, but I'll just say it's like 150 people,
Okay. Yeah.
and 100 people ended up showing up
Yeah.
to her wedding. And I'm like, kind of like crossing my fingers that I like, as horrible as that is to say,
Yeah.
I would love, because she said that 100 people, she got to talk to people one-on-one. She
Yes.
felt like she got to interact with
Yeah.
them. And I would really hate for people to show up to my wedding day and have to like text me or call me after the fact and be
Yeah.
like, I had a great time, when I never.
You never got to interact with them
Yeah,
or
that's what
whatever.
I mean.
Yeah.
So it's a party, but also like, I want you to feel like, you know, you came for all the right reasons, and like, I'm so glad you showed up. Like,
Yeah. And that you were like a part of the day, like integral, and not
Yes.
just like a supporting character,
Yeah.
cast member or something.
to like
at that
fill
point.
space.
It's hard because like then too, I mean, we've talked about maybe doing for non-traditional things is like maybe we do a send-off party here in Seattle, because we're actually there's a few people from Seattle that'll be there, but a lot of it is, you know, I mean, half the guest list, we're having a wedding of 25 people, 25 to 30,
Love
but
it.
about that. So half the guest list is going to be family, and then the other half is going to be people that would have been in our wedding if we had a wedding party, but we're not, because what are we going to do, make a third of the guests stand up with us?
Yeah.
Like, no. So we skip the wedding party, and then it'll be their plus ones as well, which are a lot of our friends that we've, you know, people that we've interacted with and that sort of thing. But it was like, yeah, we want to make sure that, you know, we can all have those moments and memories together. And I think it's just, it can be hard and complicated to balance the two of like, where do you cut the guest list off? So that's why we're like, maybe we'll do a send-off party here where it's just like whoever can come. It's not like a big thing.
Yep.
Like, show up. No, you don't have to like bring a gift or anything. Like, it's just super casual. We just like want to share this moment with you in some way, but, you know, just can't be the full day.
Yes.
Like pre-COVID, I think weddings were getting crazy.
I
Like
know.
300 plus people. I'm like,
I know.
how do you know that many people? How do you like that many
Yeah,
people?
I know. How heavy on the how do you like that many people,
Yeah.
and how many people like you? Like,
Yes.
it's
Yeah.
just crazy.
Yeah.
But yeah, the 25 number is like perfect. And we're also doing something similar to that too. So a lot of our family is based in the Midwest, Indiana and
Yeah.
Illinois. So they're not coming to our California wedding, but we are flying back to Indiana to have something local if they want to come to that.
Yeah, like a little celebration for them too. So it like takes off the pressure of having to like fly out and get a hotel room. And once you have kids, okay, are they coming with? Are we paying for their like?
I know.
It's just a lot for people, and it's, I don't know if you struggle with this, but it's hard to ask of people. Like
I
I
hate
struggle
it.
with it.
I hate it. And that's
Yeah.
why, like, my fiance and I are, like, pretty different on this, but he's, like, very adamant on, like, trying to accommodate everybody as far as, like, you know, the kid thing goes and places to stay. And I'm just like, okay, again, this is about us. And then
Yeah.
also, like, if people really want to come, they will. If they can't, it's okay. It's
We're-
okay.
We're not gonna cut them out of our lives because they couldn't
No.
come. Like that, they can make the decision not to come, and that's okay.
Yeah, I totally, and like,
Yeah.
I've been so brutally honest. Like, one of my good friends from college in my like college roommate friend group, she just announced that she's having a baby. She's due in the month that we're having the wedding.
Yeah.
I texted her separately and I was like, hey, I'm just going to be real with you. Do you think that you'll be coming to the wedding or not? And she was like, you know, sent me this whole long thing, super sweet, but basically no. And I'm
Yeah.
like, that
Totally
is
get it.
fantastic.
Yeah.
I wasn't expecting you to. And here's what we're going to do in Indiana. If you guys want to come,
Totally.
you totally can bring your kids to that. So I'm just like so blunt. I asked my photographer today here in Seattle, who I got to spend time with. I'm like, is your wife coming? Like,
Oh wait, that's your wedding photographer.
oh,
that-
no. He's my
Oh.
my photographer from my TV news days.
Oh, but he's coming as a guest.
Yes.
Oh, okay. Yes,
Yeah.
I was
Oh,
like,
he
wait
has
a
to
minute.
be
He's
there.
your wedding photographer too? Okay.
He would probably
Yes.
love to be, but I'm like, no, that's another
Enjoy
thing
it,
too.
yeah.
I need to separate. I have so many friends who are photographers, videographers, but I'm like, no, I want you to be a guest, not working my
I know.
wedding.
That's hard. We've struggled with that too, because we have some friends like in those spaces, and it's like, no, I don't want them to feel pressure and like, or feel like that their job, like they are only here because they're working it.
Yeah.
And like, I don't know. I was like, I just would rather not. It just feels like icky in
Yeah.
some of those ways.
It does take away. I've been in that situation a couple of times. It does
Yeah.
kind of like take away from the day, and it's like, I wish I was just like more like fully present then.
Yeah, because then you can't like shut off fully
I
either,
know.
and that sort of thing.
Yeah,
So-
you and I both know. It's like once the filming starts and the idea, I can
my
never
God.
stop filming.
No, oh my God, I'm running around and I'm like up during the ceremony. Like I've had a couple of friends who wanted me to get some shots for them, and I'm like, oh, I'll get the shot. Like,
I
don't
know.
worry.
Like,
I
don't
will
ask
get
me because I will.
Right, and then I'm gonna be up around like getting all the footage for you.
I
So,
know.
yeah.
Well, the last wedding I went to in Palm Springs was for one of our really good friends, and her mom, oh my God, she DIY'd like to the nines every detail of this wedding
Yeah.
before, during, after, like all the stuff. And she knows that I shoot content,
Yeah.
and like she's super cute. But I was asking her about helping me with some DIY stuff. And she turned at, I'm not gonna say her name, turned to her daughter and was like, if Jenna like gets a couple, literally not asking me for anything, but if Jenna gets a couple clips of like us getting ready, da da da, girl, you just say the word, and now I'm
You're
like
a couple? Like you've got all of them.
no,
Every angle.
yes,
Everything.
the getting
Yeah.
ready, the first
Yeah.
look, the parents, the bridesmaids. So I did like all this stuff, and her like mom and her are just like totally floored. So they're helping me with like all of my like
Oh, that's fun.
DIY
Yeah.
wedding decor stuff.
Are
so,
you doing a lot of DIY? Like what's like your mix, do you think?
Oh my gosh. Well, you've probably seen some of my like little Facebook marketplace.
Yeah. I mean, I love that. Yes. I'm a
So-
big thrifter, you know.
Yeah,
so,
I love thrifting.
Yeah.
But I'm getting so much backlash for also buying off of Shein. Did you see that video?
Oh, I did actually. Oh my gosh.
Sorry.
Explain what happened. Yeah.
I'm a DIY queen, and then I post my one fail with Shein, and I'm getting roasted on the internet.
Yeah. That's
So
a tough one.
yeah, I am having a bachelorette, which I did not plan for either, non-traditional.
That's so funny. I'm not doing a bachelorette either.
You might change your mind.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, that's fair. That's true.
And maybe you won't, but
Yeah. You're like, I did.
I did. I
Yeah.
saw cheap flights to Miami, so
Oh, you're like, shit, I guess this is what we're doing now.
yeah, and I
Yeah.
got a comped or like discounted Airbnb
Yeah.
to
Oh my-
work with them.
Yeah, that
We're a
helps.
psycho. Like I just want to work every angle.
I know. It's like, why not? Like, this is what we do. We're already going to be posting and talking about it anyway. So, like, from that is definitely like a non-traditional sense for us specifically that, like, I'm already going to be posting about it. So I might as well, like, try and work with these brands and people that, like, I obviously am working with you because I'm hosting my wedding there, my
Yes.
bachelorette there. Like, I want to work with you, you know? Like,
Yes.
it's not disingenuous by any means, but it's also just part of our nature. We're going to get this content anyways.
Yep,
Like,
and they can say no, but
Yeah.
a lot of times they say yes.
Yeah.
So anyway, I bought towels off of Shein, and because I got
Towels is a loose word.
oh
Like,
my God. I knew going into it, it was either going to be, a win or a fail. And I got a few things off of Shein, not just that. And a lot of the stuff was pretty good, but those towels literally looked like, I imagined, like, the Nicki Minaj, like, flag?
Yes. Oh my God. Yes.
It reminded, it's that
Forgot about
material.
that.
It's a flag material.
Yeah.
So
You're like, no one's drying themselves off with this.
no, not at all. And I'm like, okay, you're getting returned, but everybody on the internet, man, they're coming for me about those towels, giving me suggestions. No, we're no longer doing towels. That was
You're like, no,
I'm
the
burned.
towels idea is out.
Out.
Like,
It's too much
we're
work.
cutting that.
Not doing it. But a lot of DIY stuff, like I don't know if I want to share too many details on what I'm doing, but
Do you have a favorite or like a big hack or like a favorite hack of DIY or thrifting or something?
Oh my God.
Like,
I'm just like constantly on Facebook Marketplace,
Yeah.
like a psycho. Like I am refreshing. I am messaging the seller as fast as I can,
you're
following
like,
up with
I'll come
them.
pick it up.
Yes. Yeah.
immediately.
Yeah. And I'm like looking in, not only I'm looking in my area that I live in, but I'm also looking in like places that I visit for work on a
Yeah.
monthly basis.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm like, if I can go pick it up in a couple days, I'll be there, like hold it.
Right.
all
Or like
this stuff.
traveling or something too.
Yeah. We've hired our like dessert people through Facebook Marketplace.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
So many people
Wait, tell
like
me more about that. How did you find them? Like,
just their listing. Like so many businesses will
that's so smart.
post their businesses on there, maybe like not as much, or like, we can talk about pricing, things like that. But there's so many businesses that
Cool.
promote themselves on Facebook Marketplace that I would have never been able to find on Instagram. I feel like it's kind of
Yeah.
hard sometimes
It
on
is.
Instagram.
Yeah, because if people like, okay, you can search like Seattle photographer or whatever, and like, sure, some people like might have the right SEO where it's like pulling up, but it's like
A lot of people don't.
Yeah, no, a lot of people don't.
Which I'm like-
especially I think like dessert people too. Like they're probably not as into the social media game as like a photographer or videographer is,
Yep.
So I could see that. That's interesting. I'm not receiving that in my current algorithm of
Oh,
Facebook
shoot.
Marketplace, but also it doesn't for us.
Well, true,
we're
you're
abroad,
not.
so I'm not really
Yeah.
looking for it, which makes sense. But that's really cool. I would have never thought
Yeah.
to do that.
Yeah, the businesses, and then also like my version of DIY is like working with businesses. So there's one local couple, they're a hotel technically, or like bed and breakfast that I've
Yeah.
worked with in the past, who's like asked what are my rates to like, create content for them,
Yeah.
make videos that they can use on their business page. And so I messaged them. I'm like, hey, this is so random, but the cookies that you guys make and put on your guest beds before, like when they check in, there's like 3 little small chocolate chip cookies. Oh, I think about those cookies
You're dreaming
all
about
the
them.
time. I'm like, give me 2 bags. So
Yeah.
I'm now gonna work with them and give them content in exchange for having cookies at our wedding.
Stop it. You're not even working with
Yes.
them for like a hotel standpoint. It's just for the cookies.
Just the cookies.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, because they're super cool. They're like, if you wanted to come and like film content, like I stay at their bed and breakfast all the
Yeah.
time. But I was like, yeah, how do I get these cookies at my wedding? What do I have to do? I'll
I
pay.
need you to mail me a cookie now.
Yeah, I don't know why they're so good. And yeah, I'm just really excited. That's my version of DIY.
That's cool. I think that's interesting. Like, that's really a cool thing too that people are doing. I think more and more is like the Facebook Marketplace stuff. Like, especially when you're on a budget. Like, also, if I had an unlimited budget, I would be doing all of the things. Like, I think also that like that's part of what got me into considering doing weddings a little differently is my parents told me back in high school, like, we will make sure you get out of undergrad without student loans. I had a lot of athletic and academic scholarships, but they made sure, like, my rent was paid for. I didn't have to like focus on volleyball and getting good grades,
Nice.
And so
Yeah.
they told me that, but they're like, we won't pay for a wedding. Like, this is what we're going to put the money towards. That, maybe some parents would save for the wedding and then you'd end up with student loans, like that sort of thing.
Yeah.
So I've known for years that like they're not putting a dime really into the wedding or intending to. I'm sure my parents love to help out. So like
I was like, has that changed?
a little. They're like, well, get some quotes on what the send off party
This
could
is
be.
how it
Like, maybe we'll
starts.
do this send off party. And I was like, okay, well, I appreciate that,
Yeah.
that sort of thing. But that made me really rethink like what's important to me when I'm like looking at this day.
Yeah.
Do we really care about having, like 300 people there? Like, what would that look like versus something more intimate where we could spend more money on the experiences and like what people are going to get out of that day? But I don't like, if I would have just had a bank account, that, or a savings account that was transferred to me when, we get engaged, I don't know if I would have thought about it this way. So it definitely kind of forced me to rethink. And like, I bought like 10 wedding dresses from Goodwill because I'm like, I don't know what size I'll be like at that time, whatever, like, or I don't want to be stressed about it. So I've got versions of, and some I'm going to turn into like an after party dress, or I'm having right now. So I'm like, we'll see as I get, I'm spending like anywhere from 10 to like $100 on these dresses.
Yeah.
The one dress that I think will probably end up being the dress
Oh.
I bid. That one was like $350, but still,
Yeah.
I'm like, it's gorgeous, and I'm tall, so like I have to buy new with tags. They can't be worn before because the bride probably chopped off too much of it for me. Like, I'm 6 feet tall, plus if I wear a heel, that sort of thing. So I'm like, these are all brand new with tag dresses, unless I'm already planning on it being one that I cut short.
Here in Seattle?
No, I'm the Goodwill app. I'm looking at the Goodwill app.
I
for all of it.
forgot.
That's where all the
I
like
need to get
nicer
on
stuff goes.
that.
It's so good. You especially like, so Jenna's a smaller size than I am. She's much more straight sized, so you will be able to find so much shit on there.
Oh my God.
I will show you. I like save so many dresses.
Don't tell me that actually, because going back to the
go back to the
DIY
dresses.
really quick, like Facebook Marketplace, I
Yeah.
was on there for dresses.
Yeah,
You know that.
I know. Yeah, tell us you don't have to tell us your specific dress story, but talk about you've looked at doing dresses differently, like Facebook Marketplace. You looked at one there and you did the sample sale.
Yes.
Tell me more about that.
Yeah.
Like,
So I was like very dead set. Again, this is like when I was like, okay, we have a very, very specific budget.
Yeah.
And I think before my parents even, kind of going back to like, are your parents helping?
yeah.
I didn't like bring up that conversation to my parents.
Yeah.
Like they just naturally like kind of told me what they would help with. I wasn't expecting a lot.
Yeah.
It's again, everyone's situation is so different.
Totally.
Like
Yeah.
in my opinion, I'm just happy that they gave me what they gave me, but
yeah.
in other people's situations, like not even close to
Yeah.
what they've received, so but yeah, working with what budget you have. So I'm like, okay, let me just like scour Facebook Marketplace because I already have good luck on there anyway.
Yeah.
And I did. One of the dresses I went to go try on fit me like a glove.
I remember you saying this.
Oh
yeah.
my God. It was just like stunning. It was just a little bit too, I don't know.
Did you know your venue at that point?
Yes.
Okay, so then like maybe did it fit the venue vibes? 'Cause
It
you have
does.
okay.
It
I was
does.
gonna say, so you have a very specific venue, so that could easily like sway off
Yes.
something. if
It's just a little too boho-y for me.
got it.
But recently, I literally messaged her today. I was like, do you still have
Does she still have it?
Yes.
See,
She
like,
still has the dress. She was like, you should see these videos. I was going to post it yesterday. Like, be like, oh my gosh, like, listen to this reaction of like, oh my God, hello? This is girlhood.
yeah.
Her in the background hyping me up with like the videos of the dress, all this
Yeah.
stuff. But I was looking at it again. I'm like, oh my God, should
As
I
you're
go?
editing it, you're like, wait a
I'm like,
minute.
should I go back and get this dress? I'm
Yeah.
texting my mom and she's like, oh my God, Jenna. So
Maybe you can
anyway,
negotiate.
yeah, we'll see. But I did buy a dress at the Anthropologie sample sale,
Yeah.
not thinking that I really would have much luck, but they did have some good options. I
Yeah.
took it into a lady who's going to tailor it. The tailoring,
Oh,
oh
God.
my God, I didn't realize like it was going to be more than the dress.
Yeah, the tailoring can be crazy, especially if they have to like start taking it apart basically and like remaking certain parts of it.
Yeah.
I might go to Asia to get mine tailored because
Yeah.
like you can get stuff done for so much cheaper over
You
there. And I might
should.
get I'll get a trip to Asia and get my dress altered versus just getting
Exactly.
dress altered
I
for
wish
like
I
the same price.
Yeah, I wish I had time to go to Asia before my wedding.
I know, that's the other thing. You have to like plan it so far. It's like
I know.
hard.
Yeah.
I brought 2 dresses with the Taipei that we didn't end up having time because they were gonna have to like redo, like take apart one of them.
Uh-huh.
And I did it they would have had to turn it around in like 24 hours. It was one of the lower things on my list that I needed to get done because
Yeah.
we have so much time before the wedding. But my dad and I brought a suitcase full of 2 wedding dresses to potentially get altered over there because it's gonna be so much cheaper for us to do that.
Oh
So,
my gosh.
yeah,
That's so smart.
it's wild though, like to think about the money that goes into some of the other I think like not I was gonna say frivolous, but that's not the right word. It's like unexpected costs that like aren't the hard, like photographer, venue, food, drinks. Like it's like, oh yeah, we need table decor, like place settings. We need a thing like the sign for people to know where they're gonna sit. Like all of these little like, details that
things.
aren't cheap. You
No.
still have to purchase them, and like even if you go like a DIY route for a lot of it, which I think a lot of people do, which is great, but you still have to then like buy the
I
materials.
know. At the end of the day,
stuff.
it's like almost the
Yeah.
same exact price as like how much like you should have just bought it.
Yeah.
Like and then resell. My plan is to resell
Yeah.
everything as much as
Yeah.
I can afterwards on
That's
Facebook
what I'm trying to like
Marketplace.
find people who are reselling their stuff to buy
Yeah.
that. Like
Yeah.
I've seen a few people where I'm like, they're selling, way more quantity than what we need. But I'm like, can I buy 30 of those off of you?
Yeah,
for our wedding?
exactly. And they
they're like, yeah.
normally they
No.
usually would.
Yeah, because they're just like, let me get rid of some of this so it's not just sitting in a box.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
did you have any pushback with like family doing it this way? Like, were they trying to sway you into one way or the other, like elopement or wedding? Like,
No.
did you guys have any issues with those conversations?
No, I am so lucky when it comes to this department because I feel for brides that are in tricky situations with way too many opinions,
Yeah.
being told what to do. I'm like, ew, oh my God. Like, my mom has been so great. She
Mhm.
doesn't, like go out of her way to really ask too many questions. Like, I'm mostly turning to her to like vent or tell her updates,
Yeah.
things like that. And so she'll like have opinions here and there. His mom, she was the one who was like, you guys should go elope in Vegas.
Yeah.
Like told us to just go do it.
Yeah.
So yeah, all of our family members have been super supportive on really anything that we've wanted to do.
That's so nice.
I know.
Yeah.
I really can't vent about this situation because I'm like,
That's
I'm just
incredible.
so blessed.
Yeah, I think too from friends that I've heard talk about it and vent about it is sometimes when people do get the financial help from family members, then like
Yes.
they feel like they have more of a say in it because they're paying for it, and they want a certain part of the guest list, for their friends and stuff to come, and
Yeah.
there's some of those things that happen. I think it can be hard when you are receiving money, especially when it's a significant portion of maybe what you're spending on the wedding.
Yes.
Because it's hard to say no to those opinions
Yep.
when they're funding a lot of it. So
Yeah.
it does, I think, give a lot of autonomy, being like, we're operating under the assumption that we're receiving $0 from family members. And if we do, then that's great. It adds to like maybe we can upgrade something, or maybe we can put it towards the honeymoon or whatever. Like it's just a bonus at that point, but our operating right now is like $0 from anyone.
Yeah.
So
Yes.
what are we doing with that?
Which
Like,
is nice.
yeah.
It's very like I will say like it has been a breeze. Like at the very beginning, I think we like did have some little like tiffs with like my side of the family that was like, okay, like we want to invite all of our friends and things like that. And I'm like, hey, I just I don't know.
Are you paying for their plate? 'Cause,
That's what
like,
I
like-
mean. That's what I mean. And
Yeah.
I'm like, I just don't like understand like why they necessarily like have to be there. Like they're great people. Like I love seeing them when I see them, but like why do they have to come? So that's why I think we came up with the solution of like Indiana.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
let's just have something where they don't have to pay money to travel out of state, because it makes me feel bad.
Totally.
I don't want them to feel like they have to come because, you know,
And take
just
PTO,
stuff.
and it's just like, yeah, it's hard to like, you feel guilty in some ways
Yes.
too. Especially then if you can't spend the time with them that you want to, because now the wedding is twice the size or whatever, the people that you had planned it. So I think that's, I love the idea of doing something, especially both of us have moved away from home. It's really different, like when everyone lives nearby, like you went to college in the same state you grew up in, you still live there now, like your community is so much closer, so then it might be a little bit more difficult to be like, we're gonna have two separate events, you get invited to the second one. But this one's like, no, we're gonna make it easier on you, like we're gonna come to you for this, we'll celebrate it, it'll be so much more casual and low-key, and it'll still be fun and a fun celebration. But you don't have to come out for this, fly out and take the time off and find the hotel and the pet sitter and the babysitter and whatever, like it's a lot.
And like that's why, like, my sister got married in our, like, home state, and so that's why it was just like, oh yeah, for sure, like bring all of my parents' friends, and like bring all of our like relatives. Like it made sense. Like I would do the same exact thing, but just logistically this didn't make any sense, and we will come to you, and it's not like, oh, you didn't get invited to the wedding, like we're coming to you to like continue to celebrate and
the next chapter of our lives together. And this makes it easier on everyone else,
and then that way my fiance can meet them one-on-one who he's never met before.
I think that's like a really great point too, where like he gets to actually get more of that time with them, and it feels more intimate that way. So they're not just like hi and bye like at the dinner with everyone else, and obviously like I'm sure your fiance wants to spend time with his family and friends and do all of that during that day, so you're able to get more direct, like, I don't know, conversations and like memories and that sort of thing, which is cool.
I'm stoked.
I am so excited for you. That's so much fun. Are there any traditions that you're like either keeping, that you're like, yes, we're doing this? Are there anything that you're like, no, we don't want to do, or maybe that you're twisting into like your own version? If there's don't spoil
I know
anything.
I'm like, it sucks that I can't say
you don't
want
to spoil too much because you want things to be like a surprise, but like
I think like the what is it even called, like the entrance or the announcement, like for into cocktail hour,
whatever that's, I don't know what it's called.
Whatever that is, I think like it won't be it'll have a twist to it for sure.
Fun.
And then like our first dance might not be like a slow, it might be like fun, upbeat kind of thing.
I've been seeing that more and more a little bit too, I feel like recently.
Yes.
Or even people cutting. I really love the trend of people cutting the dances short, so they only do like through the first chorus or something, and then it like trails off, versus it being like 20, not 20, probably like 15 minutes of dance songs, because you've got the father or the bride and groom, the like father, daughter, and the mother, son one, and it's like, okay, you've got like 3.5-4 minute songs plus like a little transition to bring them on the dance floor. That's like a solid 15-20 minutes of the night just to like get through that, and then you bring like the wedding party. It's just a lot of time,
so much.
So I've been loving that trend. Plus also it just seems, I mean, don't get me wrong, I love attention, and I love the attention being on me. We're content creators with our phones, like filming ourselves all the time, but like that just seems awful to me to be dancing like for 3.5 minutes to a song, and it's not like we're professional dancers here. Like we're gonna do sway and
you do
twirls.
Like how many sways can you do before it's like, okay, we saw this 2 minutes and 30 seconds ago, like
like we saw the same turns. So I've been loving that trend recently. Are there like any other wedding trends that you've seen that are like catching your eye right now?
I just sent this to my mom because we're not doing groomsmen and bridesmaids, just because like I personally don't think it's like necessary. The bachelorette thing will happen with like friends of mine who it's just gonna be super fun, but I'm like, no more added pressure to that. So but as far as like walking down the aisle stuff, I just sent my mom a video of like, I don't know if it's called flower moms or whatever.
Oh yeah, I've seen it with like grandmothers, people using grandmas like to walk down the aisle where they're like the flower.
But I would love to do something like that for like my mom and his mom.
That's really cute. I love that.
I would just like die. I'm like, this is so cute, and
it's just a fun way to incorporate them that feels like a little bit more intentional.
Yes, like, because it'll be like my dad and my stepdad. Oh, I guess that's non-traditional too. I'm having both of them walk me down the aisle.
That's awesome.
Yeah, they're both huge, key components in my life.
I have chills from that.
Yeah.
That's so sweet to include like them both in such an important portion of your day.
I know. My sister did it in a way it was kind of cute. Like my dad walked her down for like my stepdad walked her down for the first half, and then my dad took her.
It
yeah, but I was like, no, like you guys both, yeah, you
Yeah.
both need to be in this.
And some of that can be like limiting too based on like your aisle size, like if you're at a church, if you have enough room or like those sorts of things. So
yeah.
I could see where that could be difficult if like you had both people.
I
But
should look at my aisle situation because hopefully we can all fit on the,
yeah.
on the runway. The
We
aisle.
have something similar at one of the locations we're looking at for the actual ceremony where I'm like, now that I think about it, we're going in May and we're going to see everything. I'm like, I need to look and see like if we can even fit 2 of us on this space. It's a like raised rock scenario. And I'm like,
my God.
I might not even be enough for 2 of us. We might have to rethink that. It's just like a plan. We've got a couple options.
Yeah.
So but that was one thing is the aisle space.
Yeah. Well, you're so like good about not only just like organizing, but also I feel like going with the flow.
Yeah.
I feel like you're very.
At the end of the day, we're getting married to our people.
Yes.
Like that's the whole point.
Yes.
So it's like, whatever. Like what's the worst thing that could happen here? Honestly, it's still going to be like, if the worst thing happens, like that, something goes wrong or the flowers are horrible or my dress gets ruined or lost or whatever on the flight over there, it's fine.
Yeah.
Like what's the big, like, it's okay.
Yeah.
Like we'll figure it out.
Yep.
So I think also too, like traveling has taught me a lot of that, like go with the flow.
For sure.
So much shit goes wrong when you travel that you just kind of have to take it in strides and be like, okay, this is what happened. Here's what we go from here. And it wasn't the end of the world. Like
no.
once it was all said and done.
Yeah.
So.
Like everything will get figured out some way, somehow.
Yeah.
Yeah. Traveling does really teach you that.
Yeah. The patience with it. And it's just like, no, things aren't probably going to go perfect. So just like kind of expect that.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh my
so,
God.
okay. I have a couple other things before we like wrap up. Thank you so much for being here. This was so much fun to talk about. I'm like
love
just
it.
entering my little bridal era.
Yeah.
So
I'm so
like,
excited for you to be on this side. It's fun. It's fun over here.
I'm excited, but I'm also like, I'm like, there's just so much planned.
I know.
Oh my God, I'm planning my group trip for my wedding.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
All the details, but it's fun being like type A.
Yeah.
With that. Okay, so before we wrap up, I want to do a quick rapid fire round.
Okay.
We're gonna call I do or I don't with
Ooh.
wedding trends. So you're gonna just say
Ooh.
like I do or I don't, whether you're into it or not.
Okay.
So say whether you're into it or whether you're leaving it at the altar.
Okay.
Okay. First thing, matching bridesmaids dresses.
No. Or
I don't.
I don't. This is some shit I'm gonna do at my wedding. Like say no. Like
No.
yeah, babes. That's not the right word. Okay,
Yes.
I don't.
Okay, I'm so there for that. First looks.
Oh, this one's hard because
Yeah.
I'm still debating this.
Yeah, it's a tough one. I think we'll do one.
I think so too. I think I do.
Because then you don't have to rush all your photos in after the wedding.
Yes.
Timing wise,
Yes.
I'm just like, again, it all comes down to time and the experience. I don't want to like, okay, we now have the ceremony. Now we have to take 8 million photos with everyone.
And people are always like, oh, well, I want him to cry when he sees me walking down the aisle. Girl.
He'll cry anyways.
Yes. And the wedding we went to, they did the first look. He was crying there. He was crying even harder when it was just like, it's
all
going to
the emotions
happen.
and all of that. Like, and also if he doesn't cry, it's fine. Like, whatever. I don't know.
No, you need to cry.
Play this clip for him. Okay, cake cutting photos.
I do. I think they're fun.
Yeah.
That's another one that I'm like, we're just doing like, very like casual cake and like, I don't know if we're gonna make a huge deal about it.
Yeah.
What I don't appreciate is like the shoving the cake in your faces. I think that's
that
like
needs
the most,
to be dead. Like,
yeah, that's so cringy to me.
If
Don't
I spent
you
all this
ever.
money on like makeup and hair
Oh
and
my
like
God.
no.
I
Never.
don't, not cute.
Yes.
So no,
I'm
I
with
don't.
that. Disposable cameras on tables.
I do.
Yes.
I do.
You're like, I subscribe to that.
Yes, because the photos that come out of that,
Yeah.
I have so many things to say. The photos that come out of that are amazing, and then make sure you have it with someone who's actually going to use it.
Yes,
like assign
totally.
people.
Yes.
So maybe not just like leave it out. Then also turn the
Great
damn
tip.
flash on.
Yes, I was gonna say that. So many
Turn
people
the flash on.
Yes, flash on. Like we don't need some dark photos.
No.
Like that we're not. No, we need the flash.
Like it makes me so upset. Like when they develop it and half the photos are dark.
I know.
Those would have been iconic. So turn it on.
We did this at it was like a Pride Day celebration, and they had some disposable cameras on the table. No one was taking them, so I was like, "Give me the cameras. I'm gonna start. Like, let's get some photos. Like, who are we doing?" I was like, "It was so much fun."
Oh, we need more people like
Yes.
you. I'm
like,
assigning
get the content
people.
creator to like,
Yeah.
The assigning is smart. I really like that idea for it.
Well, yeah.
Because then people will take their job seriously. They're like, "We're getting some photos tonight."
Yep.
Okay, garter toss.
No, I don't. I
was
think that
hoping
is
you'd say
so weird.
Oh my God, like them going up your dress and like in front of no thank you.
And do you wear that the whole time, or do
I
you?
know I'm not gonna wear one.
I
Probably. Why
know.
would I wear one? Like
It's
it feels
weird.
uncomfortable. Like it's like especially if it's like sequined or
Oh.
beaded. What am I gonna do? Like rub against my other leg the whole night?
Yeah,
No.
like y'all don't need to know what we do after the wedding.
Yeah,
It's
let's
like,
keep that PG, please.
oh,
Like with
it's
the family here.
so weird.
I hate it.
Yeah, absolutely not.
Okay, perfect. Weekday weddings.
Ooh, I don't. Like, how weekday are we
That's true.
talking?
Let's say not Fridays. Like if you're doing like a random like Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, people do that because they're way cheap because venues are like not booked out.
There's, and there's so many factors that go into this because again, I'm not a 9 to 5, so like I could
Yeah.
pull it off. Is it destination? I just pay a little. How
Yeah.
much extra is it to have it on a weekend or
I
a
know.
Friday? You
I
know,
know.
I
Yeah,
don't.
even like I'm okay with the Sunday weddings. Honestly, like it kind of is nice if you're traveling somewhere like out of town to like have the Monday. You take the Monday off, you go home, you get the
Yes.
full weekend there, like that. I'm okay with, but it's hard with PTO specifically.
Yeah,
for
like
people.
again, think of your guest. It's the guest experience, not the Tuesday.
Yeah,
Not the Tuesday
Tuesday
wedding.
wedding.
Oh no.
I don't do Tuesday weddings. Is what we're hearing.
Yeah, I don't.
Okay, custom vows.
Like having like write your own.
Yeah. Like write your own vows.
Wait, what is the alternative?
There's like the normal like church, like the, or not the church,
Oh.
but then there's church ones. But there's also like you repeat after me. The
Oh,
hand and I don't know.
I
don't know
thought
what
you
the
meant
custom
like
was.
ChatGPT.
Are you okay with ChatGPT?
Yeah, are you?
Wait, let's do that. ChatGPT
Absolutely
vows.
not. And I would be able to tell right off the bat.
Oh, yeah.
I swear to God. No, I don't. And yes, I love vows. Like
Yeah.
I am a sobber every time I cry.
So am I.
They're
Like,
so
custom vows are like a
cute.
must for me.
Yes.
They're so personal. Again, it like just makes it like more about you and the couple and relationship. But maybe like give some tips or pointers to the men sometimes. I mean, some guys are really good at it. I guess it always just depends. But like sometimes the women have like an amazing emotional thing, and I'm like,
Yeah.
And then the guys they're like, oh, you're my best friend. I love you.
It's like, duh.
yeah,
Next.
okay, that's why we're here. Like,
No.
tell me more.
Have someone proofread it. I feel like
Yes.
in our
a
friend group.
responsible person to proofread.
Yes, we have one of our friends who proofreads the scripts for the guys, and like he's done a great job so far. So I'm like, okay, next up,
Yes. Okay.
us.
What about having like a family member or someone you know officiate the wedding?
Yes, I do.
You do. I
Yeah.
love that too. Champagne towers.
It has to be cold. We got to make sure the champagne's cold.
Such a good point, honestly. Like
I'm dealing with that
yeah.
right now too. I'm
Are
like,
you?
if we're gonna put out champagne, I don't really know how we're gonna do this because it's gonna be kind of
logistically,
warm.
like I don't understand it. Are we just all grabbing sticky champagne glasses?
That's what I mean.
What if they fall? Like, are we just having to?
I
Seems like
don't
a risk.
know. Yeah, I might switch the champagne to something else.
Yeah, that seems. It's
They're
a little
cute
tough.
though. They're cute.
Yeah. Okay, no wedding party. Obviously, you're an I do on that one. I feel like.
I think it's fun when other people do it. Don't get me wrong,
Yeah.
but like just me personally, I'm like, eh.
I'm an I do on it too. It's fun.
Yeah.
I don't know. Just like, I'm with you. Okay, let's see. Ooh, getting legally married before the big day.
I do. I feel like it goes back to like the Vegas thing or
Yeah.
secretly eloping and
Even just like the name change process. We've talked about that because of like how long it takes for you to get your name
oh my
changed.
God. And the
And, like,
passports and the
If you're traveling, if you have travel coming up, it's like, let's just sign on the dotted line and get
Yes.
those taken care of.
true.
We're also doing it because then we're doing it for like the anniversary stuff. One of the resorts we stay at, if you stay over your anniversary, they'll give you a bunch of stuff, like a bunch of freebies.
Wow.
So we're purposely picking it for a week that we always take a vacation in January.
Perfect.
So we're like, cool, then we'll get the anniversary benefits because that's our legal wedding date. But
Yeah.
we're just going to mainly celebrate like the social
You guys
one.
are so ahead. I need people like you in my life because I don't like thinking about all that stuff. Like
It's a
logistics.
lot of details. Okay, let's do like two more. I've got a bunch on here, but I think we've covered so many already. Signature cocktails.
Yes, I do.
Love.
For
Okay.
sure.
Bachelorette trips abroad.
Ooh, I do. I do and I don't. I don't know. Now that I'm in it, and I mean, we're not going abroad, but like, depends on how you look at it. Depends
True.
on location. It is a
Destination
vacation.
bachelorette. Yeah, let's say yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
and if it's like if I know the bride and their party's planning it very well, and it's like a fun like brand trip vacation moment, yes, I'm excited. But
You got to do it right.
yes,
Okay, let's see. I had one more on here that let's see. Reception outfit changes.
Yes, I do.
I do for that too. I want all the outfit moments.
Yeah,
like,
that's why
everything.
I'm making myself sick with how many like options, how many like brands I've worked with. They've sent me dresses, and I'm like, oh no, like when am I gonna have time?
Yeah, you've got to come up with more events now. Like you're like, now I
Yes.
guess we have to have this.
I know. And I'm going to have someone specifically like tell me times to like go change out of my
switch out.
outfit.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't care how many like tequila shots I'm in. Get me out of the
Yes.
dress
Someone
so I
who's
can get into the next one.
That's their job. They're like,
Yes.
you are the Jenna outfit changer.
Yes.
Amazing.
Yeah.
So thank you so much for being here. Where
Thank
can everyone
you.
find you to watch all of your wedding content as it
Ooh.
unravels and unfolds over the next, half a year?
Yeah.
I'm sure, honestly, the next year, because you're going to be posting it every.
Yes, like all the like,
Yeah.
okay, now I can tell you kind of stuff.
Yes, yeah.
So my Instagram is at Jenna Liston TV for my TV news days, but I can't get rid of it because that's how I have my blue check mark.
I know the verified have thought about that. You're like, I guess I'm just Jenna Liston TV.
Yeah, like I swear I'm not paying for it. I just can't change it anymore.
Yeah.
Or else it goes away. And then on TikTok, I feel like I post so much of it on TikTok.
Yeah.
Just at Jenna Liston.
Amazing. Well, thank you for being here. This was
Thank
so much
you
fun.
for having me.
I can't wait for Jenna's gonna be part of my engagement day, wedding day, all the things. So
I'm looking forward to that, like honestly, more than mine.
oh my God, you're so sweet. Well, I can't wait. I think what I love most about this conversation is that it's just a reminder that your wedding does not have to be for anyone else. It is a reflection of your relationship, your values, your vision. So not just a checklist of traditions, which I think it can sometimes turn into a bit. So if you've been wrestling with what's expected, I hope today gave you permission to follow your own path. Jenna, thank you for sharing yours so openly.
Thank you for having me.
Yay.
I'm so excited for you.
Yay. I can't
I'm
wait.
so excited for us.
Yes. Send this to the friend who's always down for the spontaneous trip or the one who needs to be. Hit follow or subscribe so you're ready for next week's episode, and follow us on Instagram for the first look at our next guest and all the chaos behind the scenes. We're booked, busy, and becoming, so now go do something that would make your 9 to 5 nervous.